Killua. Killua was shown, to be, a beast out of the four, the main group, you know, Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, and Killua. Killua met Gon and was like, hey, you're like about my age, Do you want to race to the finish line? And he was like, yeah, we can do that. And they were doing it. Killua is of the Zoldyck family. So knowing this, Killua is like, this is like to test myself. I'm doing this hunter thing to like test myself and like kind of get out of my comfort zone, meet people and other things. He started, making friends with Gon. Um, he, he was doing like he was going through the hunter exam pretty easily. So like they were, with each other, right? It was all four of them, and then a guy named Rampo, right? They had to go against these people in jail, in a match. They had to like fight each other and other things. If they won, they got their crimes excused, and they would be set free. The one guy came out, and he was like the most lethal of all of them. He was like, I'm going to kill you and enjoy killing you. But like when he got done stating that statement, his heart was out of his chest. And not just that, he used part of the shirt to wrap up the heart and then be like, hey, I think you're missing something. And he was like, oh. And he was just dead because his heart was ripped out of his chest. He used the assassination arts to move around. So then, he was grabbing badges too. He ended up grabbing a couple badges. He was like, I'm after this badge. These were three brothers. They each had like 98, or it was like something like 98, 97, 96. And he grabbed up all three of them. And then he threw the other two away, the ones that he didn't need it. But he like played games with the assassin guy who was in the woods. Because he also knew he was looking in the bush. Because he had because he comes from a family of assassins, so he knew he was being watched too. So he threw like one badge that way, fooling that guy too. So like he would, be all right, and then he wouldn't have to worry about him hunting his ass down or anything like that. Then it got to like the final part, right? Before that, they like played games with Netero, and Netero was like, testing their skills and shit. Killua was moving with the, assassination arts. That's when, Netero was noted like, this kid's not a normal kid. He was trained in the assassination techniques from a young age, but he still wasn't, passing Netero's test. Neither was Gon, but, Gon, tried to, do other things. And he was able to make him move the ball from his hand, but, Killua left. Killua was then in the final, right? Killua killed his opponent, because of Lumi, was playing games with him, I want you to, kill Gon. I want you to, go back to being an assassin. You ain't supposed to be out here, having fun, being a kid. What is that? You're an assassin, You never did this, Killua. You were never, brought up to do shit like that. You were brought up to be an assassin. You're not his friend. You're just going to kill him one day. That's what you do. And anybody more powerful than you get away from him. He had like a needle put in his head. He then killed, the guy in front of him. And then they were like, hey, Killua, you are not allowed to get your hunter's license. You can't kill your opponent. So then he left and went home. But then they went after him after everything said done. Killua's strength is 83, 88 for his speed, 81 for his durability, 83 for his endurance, and 84 for his intelligence, 83 for the experience, and 85 for his close skills, 85 for his range skills, and 83 for his recoup. With the 85 for his hacks, overall power score is 84%. Killua during the hunter exam mark. Be cool, Clown Corner.